Hello and welcome to Joy News at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 and hits 103.9 FM in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including A1 Radio Polkatanga, Kekeli FM Ho, Nkelige FM Bole and Radio Max in Takrady. Get radio, TV and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, the Asantehene directs chief in the Bekwai area to collaborate with security agencies to rid the forest reserve, the Oda River, of gun-wielding illegal miners said to be destroying the area at an alarming rate.
And I know some of them have benefited from this illegal mining. It is a fact that we have to accept and appreciate. Government side too, I know the accusations over there, they also have to fight it.
Also, governing NPP says the latest prediction by Global Info Analytics, putting its candidate ahead of its competitors in the Kumeu by-election, confirms its belief with just 24 hours to the polls in business.
Ghana moves from a high to moderate debt distressed country as the nation's debt falls to a little above 434 billion cedis. More on the Joy Business Report.
And later, all existing COVID-19 protocols lifted at the country's points of entries following the WHO's declaration that the pandemic is no longer a global health emergency of international concern.
It takes effect from the midnight of 20th May 2023. We have removed almost a lot of restrictions.
I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. Thanks for choosing us. The Asantehene Otumfuo Sechitu II has directed chiefs in the Bekwai area of the region to, as a matter of urgency, collaborate with the security agencies to rid the forest reserve, the Odan River, and the Subin shelter belt of gun-wielding illegal miners said to be destroying the enclave at an alarming rate. The Lands and Natural Resources Ministry has identified the area as hard to control because the illegal miners do not hesitate to shoot at encroachers. Addressing the Asantehene Council, Otumfuo Sechitu said the development is an indictment on the chiefs and the security agencies and called for immediate strategies to rid the area of them.
Forest reserves in the Bekwai Forest District, including the Oda River, Subin Shelter Belt and Apampram Forest reserves are the most difficult reserve to control due to activities of gun-wielding illegal miners and loggers. This cannot continue. I have therefore charged the chiefs in these areas to work with the Forestry Commission and the Ministry to find ways of ridding these forests of the illegal miners and loggers. And I know some of them have benefited from this illegal mining. It is a fact that we have to accept and appreciate. Government side too, I know the accusations over there, they also have to fight it. We all have to fight it. We cannot hide under anything by saying that we don't know what is happening. We all know what is happening, and we have to fight this one.
And you heard Asantehene Sechitu II. The governing New Patriotic Party says inasmuch as it agrees with the latest findings by Global Info Analytics predicting a win for its candidate Ernest Diawonim in the Kumeu by-election, it believes its candidate will win more votes than the prediction. According to Director of Communications of the NPP, Richard Ahiagba, the party's interest now is to make sure that the voters understand whatever they're doing and appreciate their effort. Hence, the NPP will deploy all it will take to win the election.
Our estimate for the election on Tuesday is different from what Global Info Analytics has estimated. They just indicated I have concerns about their work, but on this one, their instinct is in the right direction because it's a given that the New Patriotic Party will win this election. As to his estimate, I don't think that's our estimate. We are hoping to win with a much bigger margin.
But the NDC says it is unperturbed about any research findings on the by-election because it will not surpass the reality that it will win the election. Dr. Frank Amwakohene is the Ashanti Regional Secretary of the NDC.
No research surpasses the reality, and for us, the reality is not far from it. It's just Tuesday. So whatever research findings that is out there would only be either confirmed or disputed after Tuesday. So we are really not paying attention to this kind of research here or there.
Now, NDC flag bearer for the 2024 election, John Mahama, says his recent campaign tour across the country exposed him to the challenges facing the Ghanaian and the economy. He says his team is already working on various models to fix the challenges if elected in the next general election. The former president won by 98% of votes cast to lead the NDC for the third time in the national election. At a special Thanksgiving at the Ringway Assemblies of God, Mr. Mahama says he is ready for the task ahead.
It gave me the opportunity to go around the country once again. The last time I did was in 2020 during the campaign. And so this time going around the country, one could see what the challenges we're going to face if we do come into office in the agri sector, issues to do with fertilizer, lack of fertilizer, farming inputs, the cocoa industry, the challenges the farmers are facing, the ordinary drivers and all those people. I had that opportunity in advance of even the main campaign to begin to understand the challenges that this country is confronted with. And I believe that will prepare us for when by the grace of God, and I didn't say if, when by the grace of God, we are able to steer the affairs of this country again.
Well, Mr. Mahama rejected the outcome of the 2020 election and even challenged the declaration by the EC at the Supreme Court alleging various infractions. The court upheld the decision of the EC, but addressing congregants at the Assemblies of God Church, the former president said the defeat was God's way of telling him his time to lead was not yet up.
In 2020, we went again for the election, and again, we lost. And as I said, our ways are not his ways. But on hindsight, when I think about it, I believe that we owe him a debt of gratitude that we didn't win in 2020. We would have been given these haircuts and all this IMF wahala. And he said, look, this is not the time, my children. You stand aside. And we know that he will make things well in his own time.
NDC flag bearer John Mahama there. Now, Majority Leader Osei Mensah Bonsu says the monetization of the parliamentary primaries for the two major political parties represents a danger for the future of the legislature. He indicates that the parliamentary seat is now for the highest bidder, pushing well-resourced personnel away. According to him, it will take not less than $1 million for a candidate to win a parliamentary election. He says until the two major parties devise ways to reduce the influence of money in the selection process, the country's democracy will be doomed.
You require the parties to do serious introspection and look at their constitutions again. Other than that, if it continues, I shudder to think of what will happen in the next succeeding 2-3 elections. It may be worse. We have not seen the publication from CDD in respect of the 2020 elections. But don't forget that in 2016, the report that they did suggested that the average expenditure by the typical parliamentary candidate to get himself herself in parliament was in the region of $600,000. We are going to 2024. If we are not careful, we may be talking nothing less than maybe 1 million. What?
And yet, Majority Leader Osei Mensah Bonsu, away from politics, Ghana has lifted all COVID-19 travel restrictions for arrivals into the country following the WHO's declaration that the pandemic is no longer a global health emergency. But wearing of nose masks and usage of hand sanitizers are still required at all ports of entry, according to a statement from the Ghana Health Service. Presidential Advisor on Health, Dr. Anthony Nsiasari, says the decision was taken after assessing the risk impact of the virus in Ghana.
It takes effect from the midnight of 20th May 2023. We have removed almost a lot of restrictions. What was remaining were people who have not vaccinated, adults that's 18 years and above who are not vaccinated, supposed to do 48-hour PCR. Test come of PCR negative, and then they are tested at the airport, and if you find anybody positive, depending upon the situation that the person is, whether he's sick or not sick.
And that's Presidential Advisor on Health, Dr. Anthony Insia Asari. Outgoing Chief Justice, His Lordship Enim Iyabwa, says he is unfazed by criticism on his call for continuous education for lawyers to serve as a condition for renewal of license, insisting it is the way to go. The call has received mixed reactions from legal fraternity, with some rejecting it outright, but at a farewell dinner organized by the Ghana Bar Association, Justice Enim Iyabwa says the idea is key to enable lawyers to come to terms with changing dynamics in the world.
We also want you to take seriously continued judicial education, which elsewhere is compulsory. You have to do a certain number of hours before your license is renewed. And when you say this, then you are taken to the cleanest. But I think a time has come. Because if the lectures at the faculty and the law school is to teach you everything, then you have to spend about 10 years there.
And you heard Chief Justice Enim Iyabwa ending the bulletin. In our top story, the Asantehene directs chiefs in the Bekwai area to collaborate with security agencies to raid forest reserves, the Odan River, of gun-wielding illegal miners said to be destroying the area at an alarming rate. Business is up next on the Super Morning Show.